Hello again everyone, Edwin Leonard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about having Venus in conjunct Saturn in a natal chart. Now, some of you may remember when I first started my YouTube astrology channel, I did a series on the aspects in the natal chart. They were a little bit concise. Some people may refer to them as snappy. So what I decided to do is make another series on them in which the videos would be a little bit longer and more descriptive. So anyway, first thing up is, well, if you have Venus in conjunct Saturn in a natal chart, an adjustment may be needed between doing what you love and enjoy, which is Venus, and the things that in laborious work, which is Saturn. Excuse me. Now, one or the other may be overemphasized. It could be where you're dominated by what you love and enjoy to the expense of hard labor. Or it could be the other way around. You may be working very hard, you may be involved in some laborious work, and it may, put, the things you love and enjoy on the back burner, so to speak, for an extensive time. So, the key, when you're talking about inconjunct aspects in astrology, the key is to find balance and harmony, the equilibrium, because there could be strong vacillation of energy. Find a balance between the energies. Now, the thing is, let's say if Saturn, is in Capricorn as an example, laborious work may be tied in, with some kind of construction or structure, information technology. It could be carpentry, doing something with accounting, dentistry, masonry, as some examples. Now, another thing is that another way this aspect may manifest in a natal chart is what you may value is which is Venus. You may strongly value, which is Venus, hard labor, which is Saturn, or there can be times when you're just very apathetic, regarding it. It could be very extreme energy. Let's say if you have Saturn in Taurus, that hard labor may be tied in with working with in geology or architecture, carpet laying. It could be doing something with banking or finance. It may involve working as, say, a pawnbroker, or doing something with art or music, as some examples. And the thing is also too, this aspect, Venus in conjunct Saturn in the natal chart, may also be expressed in vacillating between, it could be excessive or no concentration, which is Saturn, on generating money, on making money, which is Venus. And the thing about this is, let's say if Venus is in the zodiac sign Cancer as an example, you may be generating money through cooking, culinary, restaurant work, real estate, home improvement, home renovation or remodeling. It could be working as, or doing something with interior decoration, home design. It may be doing working as a home caregiver, as some examples. And also too, and the thing is, and again, it's important to find that balance with this energy. It's good to concentrate on making money, but not to the point where it's dominating your existence and it's to the exclusion of pretty much everything else. So another way Venus in conjunct Saturn may manifest in the natal chart, it could be where there's a lot of, where you have this hard labor, and what you accomplish which is Saturn, may either extremely, impact, your self-worth, your self-esteem, how you feel about yourself, which is Venus, or it just may have no, influence whatsoever. And it's good to have, to accomplish things and working hard, naturally that could be something, that could really, affect, your self-worth very positively in a lot of instances, but not to the point where you're just, this is all your, where that's the only thing that could affect your self-worth. But there could be other times where it just has no, influence at all. And the thing is, let's say if you have, your Saturn in Libra as an example, the things that you may accomplish may be tied in with art or music, art, can cover a wide divergence of things, whether it be drawing, painting, or sculpting. As some examples, it could be, doing something in the legal field, which, again, can encompass a lot of things, whether it's working as a paralegal or lawyer, attorney, a bailiff. It may be accomplishing things, again, of an artistic nature. It may be matters with negotiation or arbitration, even scale design and production, I would say, as some examples, because scales are connected with Libra, since Libra is the sign of balance. And as far as balance goes, it's important to find balance with this as well. And also, too, there may be times when you put an exorbitant amount of concentration, which is Saturn, on art, which is Venus, and then one moment, another moment, and then the next moment, you may go through extensive periods or time with none. Now, I mean, if you have any affinity for art or any artistic ability, naturally, it's good to put, the concentration, which is Saturn, on it, but not to the point where, you're not, where everything else, goes to the back burner, essentially. That's where you got to find the balance and harmony with this energy. And let's say, for example, let's say Venus is in Aquarius, there may be some interesting art that's futuristic, innovative, ingenious, unorthodox. It could be science fiction, maybe art connected with astrology or astronomy. Venus in Pisces can be more like the abstract art, fictional, fantastical art. Venus in Gemini may be more about that animated or cartoon art. Now, another thing too is that there may also be an imbalance in terms of activities, with your relationships, which is Venus, and that can include significant friends and those that are connected with the father, older people and authority figures, which is Saturn. It could be at times where your activities that involve your relationships, you may be dominated by them to the exclusion of doing things, with the father, with older people that you may be close with, and also authority figures, which is Saturn, or it could be the other way around. You could be doing so many activities with the father, with older people, with authority figures, to the point where it's to the expense of your relationships. So it's important to find, again, the balance and the harmony, the equilibrium with this energy. Let's say if Venus is in Aries, as an example, these relationships, including important friends, one or more, may actually be an Aries sun, moon, or ascendant person, or embody the characteristics of the sign. It could be, people that are very aggressive, assertive, courageous, forceful, yet can be impulsive, impetuous, maybe combative as well. And another thing too is that you may go through, if you have Venus in conjunct Saturn in a natal chart, you may go through prolonged periods of having peace and tranquility, which is Venus, at your place of business, which is Saturn. And then other times you may go through none for a very protracted period. So now let's say if Saturn is in Leo, as an example, the place of business may be connected with creativity or working with children, cardiology, maybe the military, sports, something sports related, or something like an acting, or entertainment, type of business, as an example. And another thing too, if you have another example, could be, let's say if Saturn is in Virgo, as an example, that place of business may be tied in with health and fitness, or it could be working as a physician, maybe something with analytics or statistics, as some examples. So, and the thing about this aspect as well, it just could be, a lot of this is just, again, it's a lot of extreme energy with what you enjoy and what and just work and things that you have to really things of a more serious nature. So You know, it can be one where you can have a lot of vacillation between that enjoyment and things that, you know, require, you know, a lot of, you know, laborious effort and, you know, just work in general. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Lerner saying, stay well.